There is a problem in self-improvement, a problem that despite all my research and experience, I've ran into again and again and again. Things seem to be going good, then boom, the negative habits, thoughts, and distractions I've worked so hard to free myself from begin to surface again. Eventually you notice the past few days, weeks, months, or if you're especially unlucky, years have resulted in little or no progression, which for anyone pursuing a better life is terrifying, especially when this problem could be lurking just around the corner and you'd have no idea. In this video, I will explain how to identify and fix this problem so we can smash through the glass ceiling, limiting our potential, and get the life we desire. Speaking of self-improvement, what is it? Is it cold showers, working out, meditating, hustling to make more money, getting girls, being happy, no-fap, spirituality, biohacking? No. These things are merely tools, and tools without a proper blueprint are useless. And you might be thinking, well, aren't my goals the blueprint? Yeah, sure. Our goals. Make X amount of money a month, attract a 10 out of 10 girl, quit our bad habits or addictions. We're so obsessed with these goals that we spend our days desperately hunting for the best information and motivation to get us there. But what if I told you it's never been about the goals? It's about becoming he who can achieve them. Because true self-improvement is the act of moving from the current self towards the ideal self. The ideal self is not only who you desire to be, it is the version of yourself required to achieve your goals. It possesses the exact traits, habits, interests, and beliefs that will bring forth the life that you desire deep down. You see, you are your current self. This is the identity you currently hold that programs the subconscious systems in your brain, which make up roughly 95% of your mind, which means 95% of your thoughts, therefore 95% of your actions, therefore 95% of your life are due to the subconscious. These systems are quite literally the silent architect of your reality. Every bad habit, every failure, every self-doubt or hatred stems from the current self. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. There can only be one captain steering the vessel of your mind. Therefore, in order to progress towards the ideal self, we must kill the current self. And this is easier said than done. Not only is the current self armed with the systems of our subconscious mind, it is able to use our own intellect against us. It thinks like you, it sounds like you, it knows exactly how to press your buttons because up until this point, it has been you. And like anyone, it will fight like hell to ensure it is not destroyed. So we must prepare for battle. No problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. In order to combat the subconscious, we need to gain control over our conscious mind. Cut out distractions from your life, and if there's anything you feel tempted to keep in the picture, recognize that that feeling is stemming from the current self. Be cautious of the activities that result in instant pleasure or reward. Your mind will attempt to use these to sedate you. And if there's anyone in your life that pulls you away from your ideal self, remove them. This may sound ruthless, because it is. This is what's required to win. But when you do eventually consume media, be sure you're flooding your conscious mind with high quality inputs. Beneficial books, podcasts, and videos will seep through into the subconscious mind and help reprogram it. But speaking of the subconscious, it's going to surface thoughts and emotions that will tempt us, discourage us, and distract us. Therefore, we must sharpen our sword of consciousness with a stone of mindfulness. Meditation often paints this picture in our minds of some wooey monk on a mountain, but disregard any previous notions you've held. Meditation is the ultimate form of cognitive training, and it is required for us to sharpen our consciousness in a world designed to dull it into oblivion. It will instantly begin to raise your awareness and allow you to combat against the thoughts and emotions the subconscious throws at you, because instead of identifying with them and strengthening the current self, you will be able to notice and reject them. Now, I'm not going to lecture you on how to do it properly, but I will offer my free guided series in the description. To live is to suffer. To survive is to find some meaning in the suffering. To believe there won't be pain regardless of the route you take would be foolish. There is pain from remaining in the current self. There is pain in changing towards the ideal self. The problem is, the pain of remaining the same is subtle. It creeps up on you day after day, year after year, and peaks only later in life when you look back and realize you've wasted your opportunities for better, compared to the pain of changing, which is this instant resistance you must push through. Therefore, the only way for you to progress is to make the pain of not changing greater than that of changing. This is where we can begin to leverage the subconscious in our favor. You see, the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. It's why your heart rate increases during an intense movie despite consciously knowing it's fake. So if we can create an imagined scenario convincing enough to cause the mind pain, it will react against it. Go to a store or online, buy the nicest pen you can find, buy the nicest journal you can find, and create a vision of what your life will look like if you don't change. Write it down and make it as vivid and detailed as you possibly can. It needs to elicit an emotional response from you. It can't just be, oh, well, things stay the same, because the current self is already perfectly fine remaining there. Describe the life you'd live, struggles you'd face, emotional turmoil you'd feel, all because you didn't change, and write it as if it's happening now. And then read it every day, each time painting a vivid image in your mind of what this looks like. Let yourself feel the negative emotions that spawn from this visualization. This is going to increase the perceived pain of staying the same until it outweighs that of changing. The only way out is through. The closer you get to killing the current self, the more resistance you will feel. You will face the most temptation here, as the mind will throw every Hail Mary it can to get you to back off. And most people, just like me in the past, do back off, getting comfortable with their progress so far, succumbing to the habits, and letting the current self take its place back on the throne. This part of the process will turn many away, but when the mind gives you resistance, you must punish it by doubling down on whatever it resists. If it's telling you to cut your work session short, add more work. If you feel the temptation to sleep in, set your alarm even earlier. If it's tempting you to hop off the treadmill, add another mile. If it suggests Instagram over reading 10 pages, read 20 pages. Just as precious metals are made pure by fire, so will your mind be. Now obviously, this part is extreme. It is not sustainable, but it doesn't have to be. Your mind will learn that providing resistance only results in more pain. Therefore, in order to get rid of the resistance, the current self would be destroyed. For now, this war is infinite, and as you evolve, so will your ideal self. But you will grow stronger, and thus the resistance you face will appear weaker and weaker. But it is going to take discipline and focus. Click the video on the left to learn how to achieve effortless discipline. Click the video on the right to learn how to 10x your focus. Or if you would like my complete self-development protocol to reprogram your mind, check out Mental Mastery in the description below.